listening to the Novel Universe Podcast, a monthly YA Lit podcast hosted by Dawn Abram and Elise Martinez, YA librarians from the Chicagoland area. Each episode features reviews and rants on new and upcoming YA books. We're here to help you navigate your TBR pile. What's good, what's bad, and everything in between. I'm Dawn, the criticizer of books.
And I'm Elise, the rejecter of romance.
So turn up the volume, here we go. Hello, and welcome back to the next episode of Read Along with the Universe, featuring There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole.
That was fantastic.
Thank you. It was take 3, so it better be great.
Yeah.
This podcast will be reading chapters 18 through
8 through 17.
8 through 17. Sorry, that's next. I'm looking at my notes.
Yeah.
That is the next Sunday, which is the 16th. We will be reading chapters 18 through 29. This is chapter 17. No, 8 through 17.
Yes.
I am with it, I promise.
Whew. It's the last day of the work week. we're done.
Yeah, well,
It's
we're
actually
recording
not.
it for us.
Yeah.
Thursday's the last day of the work week.
Yeah.
All right. You can also follow Novel Universe Pod on Instagram. I know the name of our podcast. Sorry. We post daily on Instagram, so you can follow us there. Elise is laughing, and I'm seeing her. All right. So let's start with chapter 8. Or do we need to say, 1 through 7, we pretty much liked. We got to learn who all the characters were.
The book is tracking so far.
Yeah. It's moving along pretty well.
Yeah, no major beefs.
No.
Unlike in our last Read Along with the Universe, where I think in our second episode we had started to pick up on some serious issues, and I didn't really have that here, so this is already turning out to be better for me. Alright, in chapters 8, Ephira and Anton are discussing the proposal that they Ephira and Anton are talking about how they need his grace to help them to help Ephira get what she wants, which is.
Can we talk today? She wants the Elazar's chalice, which it is the chalice that can raise the dead.
Yeah. So Ephira is convinced that this is what it's going to take to heal her sister Beru, who is mortally ill, as we learned, but we don't know why she's ill as of yet. He ultimately decides to help them, but then when he begins to scry his, I guess PTSD and his flashbacks of things that happened in his past become too much for him, and he just backs out entirely. Mm-hmm. We learn, the big reveal in this chapter is that we learn that what he is seeing is his brother attempting to torture and kill him. So that's loaded.
Well, the chapter starts off with a dream or a nightmare, and of course, we as seasoned readers should know you should pay attention to this stuff. So he says he dreamed of faces shadowed by hoods, eyes with the pupils of black suns. Mm-hmm. So we don't know what that means.
The witnesses wear hoods?
I think so.
Remember. Yeah, okay.
Are they black?
I don't remember, but
it doesn't say anything about black hoods. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway. Yeah, so I just try to pay attention to dreams and nightmares and stuff because it usually
especially in fantasy with prophecies and shit.
Yeah.
All
right. We also find out that it may be difficult to find the chalice because he goes to talk about that all you need to know is something's name and you can scry and find it. But then in his own head, he's like, well, I'm not telling them that. That's just a theory. Might not be true. So, I mean, that could be foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. He may even try, and they may not even get it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's all I got.
All right, in chapter 9, it's Jude's chapter, and we see Jude and Hector preparing for the ceremony where Jude will officially become Keeper of the Word. We learn a little bit about the history of the Order of the Last Light, which is what Jude and Hector are a part of. We learn how acolytes are recruited, and then they discuss what brought Hector back from his year of reflection. Their year of reflection is a sabbatical that allows them to decide if they want to officially join the Order / the Paladin. Was that clear to you? They talk about it twice in his chapters.
Does Jude just have to do the year of reflection? I think Hector
they
leaves.
all do. Hector did his own, I thought.
I don't think that's a thing. I could be wrong. But Hector just up and left. And they were like, where the hell did Hector go? So I think Jude went, or maybe he stayed too long. I don't know. But I know Hector, dipped. and then he just magically came back, and he's like, where'd you go?
Yeah, I must have just thought that was the same thing. And
I
they
think
did it
it's just
separately.
Jude
Yeah,
who
you might
does
be
it.
right. For now, we'll go with just Jude. That would make sense. He's kind of the most important deal here. And then Jude contemplates the ceremony before him. He is officially inducted by his father, Captain Weatherborn, and he chooses his paladin guard, where he chooses Hector
Dun, dun, dun.
to be by his side.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Some things of note, we learned that Hector is from Cheris. Also try to pay attention to where they're from.
Mm-hmm.
And he has the grace of heart.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning of the book, it tells you that they can enhance speed, strength, agility, and senses.
They basically heal people too.
And this is the first time in this chapter we hear about the 7 prophets. We haven't really heard too much about them.
Briefly, yeah.
Yeah, so here we really get more information.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's all I know.
Alright, in chapter 10, Ephira has been following Anton since he left after his, negative scrying experience. She's keeping tabs on him because she's ultimately going to try to convince him to come back. But when she goes back to the crypt, she discovers that Baru has bought train tickets out of Pelos Athos. I thought it was really bizarre that there was a train. Do they mean
Why?
a literal train or a caravan train?
I think it's a literal train.
Because this does not seem... in my mind, I have not been
That's
imagining
true.
this as a society with technology.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
So what the heck is that? Baru thinks it's best to leave because ultimately Baru is having doubts. She doesn't truly believe they'll find the chalice, and she seems to be having doubts about the benefits of being graced in general, which is perhaps massive
I
foreshadowing.
must have missed that.
This is news to Ephira, and it kind of makes her more determined than ever to find this chalice and heal her sister. So it's kind of a big chapter, actually.
Yep. Well, I'll add my little bullshit note is that they're from Telemat. And that Ephira's graced, but her parents didn't want people to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'll say about
Yeah.
Chapter 11.
Alright. Anton has been hiding out at the docks. He's laying low to avoid his brother, who he now knows is looking for him. He's gambling his days away with dock workers and sailors. Ephira finds him to try to convince him to come back, and when he sees the ships hosting the Order of the Last Light coming into the harbor. So that's a big deal. They haven't been back to Pelos Athos for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
For a really fucking long time. So everyone kind of stops what they're doing and they all watch this ship come in. He has a very physical reaction to their presence. He can feel their esha and their power and their essence essentially. And
He says that it's familiar though.
right.
It's how does he know? These people have been held up in wherever the cave country. So how would he
Karameikos.
be familiar with them? Maybe in his dreams?
I don't know. We do
don't
not
know.
know as of yet. But ultimately, he and Ephira make a deal with each other. She's going to kill his brother in exchange for him trying to scry for the chalice again.
Mm-hmm. And one more other minor but major note. Anton is from Novo Gardenia. That's not right.
Jesus Christ.
Let's just call it Novo. He's from the north. And that does come back in a couple chapters.
Mm-hmm.
The next chapter, actually.
Alright, so 12. Hassan and his aunt Lethia discussed the order docking at Pelos Athos harbor last night. This is big news. He leaves to take a walk through the market when Kepri attempts to talk to him. She notices something's up because she basically sees him surrounded by guards and is like, what's happening? Who are you? He's like, oh, I'm sorry I couldn't tell you, but I'm the Crown Prince of Herat. And she feels betrayed. Later in the chapter, Hassan is summoned by the Order and informed that he is the prophet that the prophecy foretells. Let's talk about
this chapter has a lot of important information in it. So first, let's talk about Hassan and why I don't like his character. And the reason is because I don't remember what page it's on, but it's when he is confronted with Kepri, and he says to everybody around him, I have to speak to her. The Order of the Last Light can wait. Excuse me?
Yeah, I don't like it in not even YA in general, but just really any book where the two people who are attracted to each other lay down all their responsibilities and all of the pressures of being alive to speak to each other or to bestow upon one another a glance. It's like, are you what
No.
reality do you exist in? Because that is extremely damaging. Like, if you have just been told that basically the future of the world rests on your shoulders, you know, yeah, you're going to still have feelings for this person back here, but that's not going to exist in your immediate now.
No.
That bothered me.
Yeah.
And also the fact that she gets upset that he didn't tell her he was the crown prince. Bitch, are you stupid? He is in Palos Athos because he's hiding. No one is supposed to know he's here. If he tells you, he doesn't know who you are. He's known you for 3 days or whatever the fuck. He doesn't know that you're not going to go tell anybody. Like, this is serious information. Like, really.
Yeah. And this is classic trope. I
Oh,
was
for
hoping
sure.
she wasn't going to go through the
Yeah.
whole I can't believe you didn't tell me thing. Just like,
There are far other ways to build tension.
Yeah.
Just the fact that now they can't be around each other as often, there you go.
mm-hmm.
Develop the shit out of that. Like, I don't know, that really was like, ooh, this is where that little kitty ass romance is gonna come into this book, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And this is the example of why Hassan is my least favorite character, simply because he's immature.
He is immature.
And he's not a reluctant prince, but he is the trope of I have to lead, it's my duty, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm insecure and I'm afraid that I'm not going to do a good job, and it's just this back and forth and back and forth. But at the same time, as the reader, you're supposed to believe that he's going to be a great leader and supposed to be confident and defeat this monster of a villain, yet he's like, oh no, the order can wait. This girl that I've known for 2 weeks, I
Yeah.
need to talk to her.
Yeah.
No, I can't get with that. So
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what
not
I-
a huge fan of his character line as of this point in the book. This chapter kind of really brought that home for me. I was just like, really, you guys are, oh my god. Okay, no. Alright, moving swiftly on.
So what I was saying was that we find out about another character, well, another prophecy, King Vasily, who's also from Novo. I don't know how to say the word. So, and Anton is from Novo too. So there's a connection there.
Okay.
So his whole prophecy is the prophets told him that he is the last in his line to be graced. And he didn't believe him. I didn't kind of understand why he went to war with all the other nations, because he was told he was last in his line. But basically, by doing that, he was defeated, and therefore the prophecy came true. He was the last one. He didn't have an heir. So clearly that's going to be important. But Hassan is also struggling with this, and this is what I didn't understand. So Hassan is struggling with this. I am not graced. My parents are dead. It's just me. You know, am I the last heir? Am I going to have the same fate as King Vasily? This whole chapter was interesting, but it was also really confusing. I wasn't quite understanding.
Well, we can put a pin in that because
Okay.
maybe more will come out with this information later. I doubt this is the only time she's going to bring this up. And I wasn't even paying attention to that. I was like, we
Okay.
got another king? I'll come back to that later.
Well, I mean, we also learned that the prophecy is to stop the age of darkness.
And only the prophet knows
Mhm.
how that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was big information.
And do we believe that Hassan is a prophet?
Well,
I
they go
don't.
back to that in chapter 14, so don't
Okay.
get ahead of us here.
Okay.
Let's go to chapter 13. Jude explains to Hassan that he is the prophet, and Jude reflects on his own purpose in life. So, I don't know,
Okay.
Jude's character is very compelling.
So this is what I took from that. He said Jude said that when he told or even met Hassan, he felt nothing. So is he meaning that he felt nothing because he isn't the prophet, or he felt nothing because he doesn't feel like this is his duty? I mean, it's just speculation. I'm not.
Well, the last line in the chapter was something along the lines of, you know, this is what your destiny feels like because it's not waiting for you to catch up with it. Like, he's like, clearly this is my destiny. This is the moment that I have been trained for my entire life. I feel nothing because mentally and emotionally I must not be ready for this. And she's not really going into why, although the reader can guess, but I'm not sure why that would, well, I don't know. He's distracted. He's distracted by something else,
But he also seems to like
But
when he
I-
meets him, he's
right.
waiting for this big like reflection of, oh yes, I feel this connection to this person, yet he doesn't.
And I'm not sure why he thought he would feel that way, only because it's been a moment that's been so built up for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I
it's
don't
like
know.
relatable. It's like
Yeah.
you turn 18 and you're like, I'm an adult, and then you get there and you're like, oh,
This is it. I feel
this
no
is-
different, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
big woo.
but I think it also is, it's going to serve a double purpose that Hassan may not be. And so let's move to chapter 14 because we go back to Hassan's point of view. And, sorry, chapter 14. He is expressing his disbelief in this information because he's not graced. And so the paladin explained to him that, well, you technically have a year left. You could still become graced between your 16 and 17. Hassan is currently 16, so we'll see if that happens, but I highly doubt it. I do not think he's the prophet.
Mm-mm.
So that's my prediction.
Yeah.
I don't know. They discuss other elements of the prophecy and how the order is seeing it played out right now with the Hierophant and other people around the globe. And
Okay.
Jude informs him that he alone will be able to see how to stop the Age of Darkness. They cannot see that.
Yes.
Anyone with the grace of sight, regardless of who you are, can see everything except the future past that point.
Well, kind of going back to what I was saying in chapter 12, I was kind of confused. So there was another prophecy, and it says, as long as the lighthouse of Nazira stands, the seraph line shall rule. On the cover of the book, the lighthouse is burning.
Oh shit.
So that's clearly an indication that's going to burn.
Can I see?
I don't
Wait,
know what that
oh.
means. That's why I asked you, let me see your book. And
Oh.
then,
Oh, damn.
yeah.
Maybe the lighthouse is a person. Because where is the lighthouse of what?
Nazaria,
See, this is why
Nazira.
I'm pissed that this book does not have a map.
I'm pretty sure the final book has a
I
map.
fucking hope so, because this is crazy.
Yeah, the lighthouse is on
Mm.
fire. But this is where he starts to talk about, Hassan starts to talk about, I am the last seraph, and if I don't produce an heir, does this mean I'm going to get the same fate as that King Vasily? And I was kind of confused. But anyway, maybe it will clear itself up.
Mm-hmm.
But also a thing of note, Anton has the gift of sight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in the prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
So I am predicting that Anton
I
is
agree.
the prophet.
I
I
think
don't
that as well.
think, and I think that his connection is maybe the connection that Jude didn't feel for Hassan.
Yeah,
But he felt
because
it with,
the second that the
Mhm.
order popped into the harbor, he had a physical reaction.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, well, I don't know, maybe we don't know whether Jude did or didn't.
yeah, we don't know.
No.
He doesn't say.
All right, chapter 15. Back to Anton. His brother is in town.
His brother's in town
Family
visiting.
reunion. He sends his brother a message where to meet him and waits with Aphira with a plan to kill his brother, whose name is Ilya. When Ilya arrives, he attempts to apologize for all of the torture and violence that he gave to Anton when they were children, and he's trying to make the past right. This chapter was fucking crazy. I was like, what is happening? A person who is as deeply damaged as clearly Ilya is, based on the very small amount of information we know about him, does not just turn right around and is like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Well, he's trying to make Anton believe that that didn't happen. You're wrong.
Right.
You were under the water. I wasn't
Right.
trying to push you. I was trying to help you.
Yeah, I was pulling you out, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Like, it's a crock of shit, but
I'm not falling
it
for
is,
that.
it is affecting Anton, though,
Oh,
unfortunately.
it is.
Because it's your family, ultimately you want to believe that that's true because you've had to try to rationalize it in your own mind for the past however many years old he is. So I understand his psychological process. I'm just really hoping that Aphira, having been there, is kind of like a, hey, buddy,
Mm-hmm.
that's not what's going on. However, Ilya tells him that I'm here to protect you from the witnesses. Because he's like, oh, you still don't know what you should be afraid of, are
Yeah.
you? I was like, ooh, this guy is
Yeah, I
fucked
wrote
up.
that down. Like,
Yeah.
he said it twice.
Yep.
So. That's important.
It is. Anything else about chapter 15 for you?
No.
All right, chapter 16. I don't know what I wrote here. Afira gets ready to kill Ilya, and he again tells Anton that he wants to protect him from the witnesses. But while they are arguing and trying to figure out the truth of Ilya's words, the sentry appear and arrest them.
Not much really happens here.
Yeah.
He's just, that's one where he's like, you still don't know where you're running
Right.
from, do you?
Right. Chapter 17, the last chapter in our read-along today. Hassan and his aunt Lethia host the Paladin Guard at their villa, but Hector and Jude are unable to attend breakfast. Do we know why?
No.
Yeah, okay, so they're gone. Or they're just not coming. Hassan meets the rest of the guard, and he learns about their past and who they are. He learns about their ways. The guards sense an intruder on the grounds, and they all realize that it's Khepri who is there demanding an explanation.
Demanding.
And I like how this dumbass girl just rolls up to a royal palace and is like, I'm getting in. It's like that meme of the guy outside of the White House, let me in! And it's like, oh my god, that needs to be in the show notes if possible. But yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty rude to him.
Dude, I can't stand
He's
it.
like her king.
Right.
We don't know if his parents are dead yet. But she's just like, I'll talk to you however I want.
It's so stupid. Yeah.
That's
it's
not a thing.
No, that would not happen. Especially because she's so proud to be, what's their, Harati? Is
Yeah.
that their people
Mhm.
group? Okay. Like, come on. You're basically disrespecting the crown prince.
I don't feel like that's building her
Not at
character
all.
to
Not
be
at all.
strong. It's just rude and
Right.
unbecoming
Yeah, it
of
is.
a respectful person.
Yeah.
Just no.
Yeah.
So I know these two are probably gonna get together. I am not shipping them. Sorry.
Yeah, not either. I feel nothing.
No.
I did at first, but then that bullshit with the, oh my god, you betrayed me. If she would have been like, you know what? I understand. I'm gonna help you however you need. You come find me. I'd been like, yes, bitch.
But of course, there's no tension.
Feminist fantasy.
There. But we gotta find another way to.
But there is tension
deal
there
with that
because they
trope.
want to be together. They like each other, but it's
But
like,
that's not like.
oh no. I don't give a
Conflict.
shit. Let's be original here.
I know. Yeah.
Come on.
This is off topic, but have you seen You've Got Mail?
A long time ago.
So in You've Got Mail, it's the situation where he's lying to her the whole time. He's really the guy that she's in love with, and she doesn't know it because she kind of hates him. And I'm watching this movie a long time ago, and at the end of the movie, I was like, because he's like, okay, they decide to meet, and she still doesn't know who he is. He knows who she is, and I'm like, if she pulls that, you lied to me and run off bullshit, I'm gonna fucking hate this movie. And you know what? She didn't. She said, I wanted to be you. What'd she say? I wanted to be you so badly. And she hugs him and they live happily ever after. Thank you.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a trope.
Yeah.
She was just like, she cried a little bit. Then she was like, oh man. And then she was like, oh, well, I love you, you know? So,
Just pull up your grown-up pants.
yeah.
You know?
That's the only thing in this book that's bothering me. Everything else is great.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused with the prophecies, but I figure I'll just like make my way through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else in this book is great.
I had
it's
to
just
take a
that.
picture of the prophecy so I can refer back to it
Yeah.
because
This prophecy is actually not
it needs to
difficult.
be in the front.
I have read some doozies
Oh
of
my
a
God.
prophecy.
Oh my god.
The wicked, what's it called? The Wicked Saints. You remember that damn prophecy in that book? That witch told that guy that prophecy one time, and it was like 3 paragraphs, and he remembered it. I'm like,
No. That's not how that
that
goes,
is not a
guys.
thing. So this one is pretty
even-
simple.
So like Kiss of Deception is what I'm thinking of because there's like parables and there's songs and
Yeah.
there's the prophecy and it's like there's so much to keep track. It's like I need to like just keep it on the side
Mm-hmm.
so that if something happens I can be like, is that referenced? Yes or no?
Yeah, I tabbed it.
Yep.
It's not a long prophecy. It's nice and short. It's
Right.
to the point.
It's pretty straightforward.
And it's very straightforward. It's
Yeah.
not like hidden in metaphors. I mean, there is a little bit, but I mean, for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Katie Rose Poole.
Yeah.
All right. That was the end of our second
Chapters 8
installment.
through 17.
Join us Sunday, September 16th. We are going to be reading Now I'm going to get it right. Chapters 18 through 29. So we hope that you will read along with us, and we'll catch you in the next podcast.